I just graduated university 2 months ago and have been staying over at my boyfriend's place for 2 reasons. One, so I could find a job since his place is closer to the city, making it easier to look for a job. Two, because whenever I stayed over at my sister's place, I would always be the only one doing the chores and cooking. 6 months before I left for my last semester in university, my older sister had a baby with a guy she had been seeing from her work. The two of them have been in a situationship for over 2 years, since the guy has a wife and kid but still pursued my sister. Neither of them has a stable income. They work in a band. But my sister really wanted to have a baby with him because he told her he would leave his wife for her. He didn't. Now, I have been asked to help my sister take care of the baby sometimes during the weekend or whenever she had a gig at night. At first, I was fine with it since I hadn't gotten a job yet and was mostly focused on my crochet business. But it has been getting more frequent to the point it has been difficult for me to work on my business and find a job, especially since she doesn't pay me for babysitting. This has been an issue for a while now, and I have brought it up to my parents before, but my mom tells me to just deal with it and work it out with my sister, and my dad just thinks it's a pity that my sister has to send her baby to a friend instead of having me babysit. When I brought this up with my sister, she says she doesn't have the money to find a nanny or send her baby to a daycare or pay me, and that it's sad how I'm asking her to pay me, even though she has told me that she has gotten a lot of money before but always splurges it on music equipment instead. This time, she asked me to babysit for 5 days, without pay, since her friend who has been staying with her in exchange for babysitting would be out of town. I only agreed to take care of the baby for 2 days this time because I just got my period and haven't been feeling well. She seemed okay with it and said the rest of those days she could send the baby to another friend who has helped her before when I was still in university. Today, I found out she'd told our parents that I was staying at my boyfriend's place instead of taking care of the baby, even though I did, because I got a text from my mom getting mad at me for refusing to take care of my nephew for the whole week. I told her that I did take care of the baby and am staying at my boyfriend's place during the days I won't be taking care of the baby. Both my parents have been trying to convince me to stay with my sister just to take care of the baby, even more now since we visited them last week. I've told them that I don't want to be stuck babysitting a baby when it's not my responsibility, and it's not like she pays me to help her, but they think I'm just being a jerk. Am I really the jerk for refusing to stay with my sister to help babysit her baby? Now here are the comments. Comment 1. Not the idiot. It doesn't matter if you're family or not, babysitting is a real job, which means you should be getting paid for it. Plus, the fact that it's impinging on your ability to find a stable job means that it's incredibly unfair. Also, why on earth would they not be doing any chores or cooking in their own home when you're there? ... T seems like they're using you as a free maid service. DBH. I think you need to have a serious sit-down talk with your sister and the baby's dad. Don't involve your parents with this because it seems like they're babying your sister. You should be at the least getting paid for what you do. And if they can't do that, then you shouldn't be forced to help them. Comment 2. You are not the idiot. I think finding a job, no matter what it is, and saving to be independent so that you can work on building your crochet business should be first and foremost. Your sister's decisions are not yours. If your parents are honestly guilt-tripping you about this, just remember this. Your parents chose to have children. You didn't choose to have a sister, and therefore you're not responsible for any of her decisions. I'm not saying they are either, but if we're going to say this is anybody's problem other than your sister's, it certainly isn't yours. Maybe somebody should bring the dad into this? Just a thought. Bottom line, take care of yourself. Comment 3. Why do so many supposed adults go running to mommy and daddy every time a sibling doesn't do what they want? Then mommy and daddy make the put-upon sibling to be wrong because, oh well, family. Tell your damn sister that she chose to have a baby with a married man. She chose her job, her lifestyle. You didn't. Tell your interfering parents that they can babysit the child, or they can pay for a babysitter. You are not the idiot, absolutely, but put your foot down and say no. Now, for the next story. My husband, 53-year-old, has 2 children from previous marriage. 24-year-old male single, lives at home with mother. 28-year-old female married, no children. I have 3 children from previous marriage, 30-year-old male single, disabled, and recently moved back in with husband and I. 25-year-old, female going through a divorce. 24-year-old, male single. 1 child. Husband and I have been married 15 years. Husband has raised my 3 children as if his own due to their deadbeat dad. Recently, husband's mother has been diagnosed with cancer, poor prognosis. She lives in Montana. All children live in the southern parts of the states and southeastern coast. We are currently in upstate NY living for work. Flights are very expensive. We have planned a trip to see husband's family and mother for Thanksgiving. We both agreed that we did not want to leave son that is living with us alone during the holiday, so it was agreed to purchase his tickets due to the fact he has very little income. At this time, 2 out of the other 4 children are really struggling financially. However, as they are grown, they have the option to make this trip a priority and pay their own way. Only one has done so, female 25 going through the divorce and struggling financially. My husband is extremely mad at me because I am not willing to purchase tickets for his biological children due to the fact that they are doing very well financially. I also feel my biological single son can purchase his own ticket also. Husband has no problem with that. He is extremely mad about this. He says because his kids are closer to his mother, along with my 25-year-old daughter. He has always claimed not to show favoritism. However, I have seen it throughout the years on and off. I am not budging on this one this time. Am I the idiot for standing my ground? Edit to add. We rented a local friend's home and extended the invitation to all children to stay with us there. It is large enough to sleep everyone. Now here are the comments. Comment 1. You're the idiot. Not so much because you can't afford it, but because of your tone, which comes off as heartless, all about money and not a word of compassion for husband. If that was my mother, I would move mountains to make it happen. It's not about you. It's about your husband and his mom's last Thanksgiving. Even if it's not a priority for the kids, it is a priority for your husband and his mom. Maybe make it an early Thanksgiving so that it wouldn't be so expensive. How about a week or 2 before? How about giving the kids a portion of the cost of the plane ticket? Trains are also an option to explore. Comment 2. Total aside, flying out of upstate NY is preposterous in terms of money. Look into flying out of Bradley, Hartford, Connecticut, Montreal, De Gaulle, Philadelphia, NYC, New Jersey, etc. The 3-hour drive plus parking is actually less expensive than flying out of Albany, Syracuse, etc. It sounds like you literally cannot afford to fly everyone to Montana for Thanksgiving. If you think you can swing it, you could offer a set amount, $250, to each one to offset the cost. That will tell you quickly if the issue is money or not the idiot. Comment 3. So your mother-in-law has cancer with a poor prognosis, meaning this might be the last family trip, particularly over a typical family holiday, and your focus here is on the money. You would deny your mother-in-law a chance to see her family because you've decided this is your line in the sand. How much notice did you give them that you expected them to disrupt their carefully planned budgets for an expensive trip? Your priorities seem a little skewed here. Now for the next story. I have a neighbor in the apartment who is the manager who nobody likes to talk to her. And well, she's expressed to me how lonely she is. The thing is, this neighbor is toxic. Every conversation leads to her putting me down. She's got an extremely explosive temper. For an example, she found out her electric bill was $5 higher than normal and she started yelling and screaming about how she works to pay bills, throwing her phone, etc. It was terrifying. She also gossips about the neighbors and as a manager tells me things I don't think she should be telling me. I've reached the point that she's hurting my mental health. I want to avoid her. Well, my friends told me I am a jerk to do this because she doesn't have anyone to talk to. And I understand this, but shouldn't I put my own mental health first? Her put-downs are, for an example, about my parenting. I have a 16-year-old autistic son who has a special interest in toilets. She told me because of this child, Protective Services is going to take my son, and I am going to lose him. She constantly puts down my interests, or if I'm excited about something, she puts me down about that as well. She puts down my relationship with my husband and how we do things, meaning we evenly split the chores. She feels I should do all of it because I stay home and keep the couch warm. I am a stay-at-home mom to an autistic child. The worst to me was when she told me that mine wasn't that bad because my parents never touched me. They were mentally and verbally hurtful. Also, the reason why I say it's affecting my mental health is it's causing my eye to constantly twitch, and I am having panic attacks when I step outside now. I feel like she is as hurtful as my parents, honestly. I thought maybe her comments are trigger-related, but now I'm not so sure. And I just can't handle another person like my parents. Our landlord told her she can't befriend the tenants and chewed her out about how we are openly friendly, but she says that she is going to do what she wants. Because of how our apartments are angled, it feels like she's always watching for when my husband or I step out for a bit. She talks to him and makes the same comments about me to him. The only reason he hasn't said anything to her is she has already shown she doesn't handle it well when people piss her off. One example is when we have a neighbor who told her he really doesn't like to be touched. She reacted by trying to work out a way to not renew his lease. Thankfully, she told me about it, so I was able to give him a heads up so he could fix what she was complaining about. But my husband believes that she would try to have us evicted if we piss her off. And I am not entirely sure he's wrong. Also, I should explain, I wouldn't completely turn my back on her. I would still listen when she comes to me to complain about our neighbor, but I don't want to sit and talk to her like I had been doing. One last edit. I ended up calling a crisis hotline and explaining the situation. I realized as I wrote this that it sounded like at the very least emotional abuse. He confirmed this is very much emotional abuse. He also added harassment, stalking, and a lack of boundaries, especially on her disregard when someone tells her they don't like to be touched or hit, in my case. I thought it was a playful hit, so disregarded it since she never left marks and it was always lightly done. But he recommends for me first to work on my own self-care for a bit. Any ideas how to do that with an autistic child at home, LOL, and to talk to the landlord? I'm not really sure about doing this as no matter what. She's my neighbor and vengeful enough to scare me on that idea. So it looks like the phone idea is the best. Thank you. Comment 1. Not the idiot. Yes, you should always put your own well-being first. And if this person is putting you down and interacting with them is causing you panic attacks, it's kind of a no-brainer that you are under no obligation to put yourself in the line of fire. Life is short. Spend it with people who take responsibility for the impact of their actions and words and treat you well. Comment 2. Not the idiot. Well, give your friends her telephone number, then ask them too if you could give her theirs. In all seriousness, keep your distance from her. Plus, don't volunteer any more details about your personal lives. You are giving her ammo while she's not equipped to be a people person. There's a reason she's lonely, and she chose this path. Comment 3. You are not an AH. It's not your job to entertain a lonely person, especially if that person is unsafe and bad for your mental health. Your friends are not great for wanting you to continue to deal with that. Maybe they can come over and talk to her. Not the idiot. Now, for the next story. One of my 24-year-old friends, Anna, had a baby around 6 months ago. Our friend group is otherwise childless. All of us used to hang out a lot before the baby was born. The baby changed the dynamics because Anna wanted to bring the baby everywhere with her. And it's a baby. We tried to plan things around the baby to include Anna, but it always ended up badly. We shouldn't drink because Anna can't drink. We shouldn't be loud because the baby needs to sleep. The icing on the cake is that her baby is extremely fussy and cries all the time. It was just a downer for the rest of us. So we started hanging out without Anna and her baby. Last weekend, all of us went on a staycation. We had a great time and posted photos and videos on Instagram. Anna saw these and called me to ask why I did not ask her to come with. I tried telling her it was a last-minute plan, and we could only find a child-free resort so as to not hurt her feelings. She called my bluff, sending me pics some random family had posted with kids at the resort. She kept forcing me, and I told her we did not want to hang out with her baby. She asked how I could say that about her baby. I asked her to leave it at that, but she wouldn't. I finally told her it's a baby, and we are all young. We don't want to live our life around a baby she chose to have, that we get to do adult stuff and party all we wanted. Her baby is the only reason she wasn't invited. If she left the baby at home, she can come too. She got pissed off at me and called me an AH. She also sent a text in the group chat saying she is disappointed in all of us for excluding her just because she is a mom. Half of our friend group thinks I should not have told her the real reason and is mad at me. The other half thinks she is unreasonable. Am I the idiot for telling her the truth? From comments, we have tried to communicate to her about adults-only events before, other than openly saying don't come if you have to bring your baby. She refuses to leave the baby with her boyfriend or babysitter. Even when we say an event is adults only, like a dinner we had a few weeks ago, she still brought her baby. The baby cried throughout the night, earning us glares, and we had to leave early. Comment 1. Everyone sucks here. Why don't people talk to each other anymore? The same way she called to confront you about being excluded from the staycation, you and your friends could have called her to tell her she was messing up the vibe of your group hangouts by bringing her baby all the time. There's nothing wrong with wanting child-free time with your friends, but pulling passive-aggressive stuff like this is wrong. With that said, Anna shouldn't have brought her baby to every get-together without making sure it was okay with the group. She also shouldn't be asking you to change your normal behavior to accommodate her baby. She needs to realize that having a baby changes your social life. And unless she's able to get reliable childcare, she has to accept that she won't be able to attend every outing or vacation. Comment 2. Not the idiot. You're not excluding her because she's a mom. You're excluding her because she makes being a mom everyone else's problem. She won't leave the baby home. Does it have a father present? Grandparents? Anyone who can watch it for a few hours? She expects you to cater to her needs. You shouldn't have to not drink just because she can't. It sounds like she doesn't remove the baby from the situation when it's fussy, so you all have to deal with it. You have every right to want to be young and act like it. She needs to accept that having a baby has changed things for her. But that doesn't mean everyone else has to change everything to accommodate that. Comment 3. Not the idiot. Doesn't sound like you were cruel about it. You are early 20s friends who want to go out, have some drinks, and generally be in adult environments. You shouldn't be expected to revolve your whole social life around Anna's needs as a mother. It would be nice to occasionally do some stuff with her and the baby. And perhaps when the baby gets older, Anna can get a sitter and come out with you. You were right to tell her the truth. If you liked this video, you'll probably like these too. Also, while you're here, please consider subscribing. It's your support that keeps this channel alive and allows me to make better and longer videos. Have a great day!